The Maryland Football Spring Showcase coming up tomorrow in College Park. Very cool event. Not just an opportunity to watch the team practice, but you can meet the team. And that includes our next guest, one of our favorites, the pride of Concordia Prep, right here in Baltimore. And man, who
Yeah,
had an awesome first season in College Park with 7 sacks. He's Sidney Stewart, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Sid, it's Glenn. It's great to see you, man. Thank you for taking the time.
great to see you too. Of course, of course.
Man, your season personally, I know you wanted there to be more wins, right? But like,
Yeah.
it's not easy for freshmen to make this type of impact at the level that you were doing it. What was the difference for you? What allowed for you to be able to make the adjustment so quick to
Mm.
going up against the biggest, the best dudes in the country and find the success that you found?
I think the biggest thing was I think my supporting cast coming out of high school, like my trainer, like Coach Dan, and my coaches, like, getting me mentally ready. I think that was probably the biggest thing that helped me, like, as far as my own individual. But I think also like my coaches trusting me at Maryland itself, like Coach Monachino and Coach Locks, trusting in me to play, trusting in my ability and you know, to get on the field, your coach has to trust you, especially at this level. Like, coach has to trust that you'll do the right thing at the right time and, be where you're supposed to be. So I appreciate them for that. And, I think those combining factors is what allowed me to play early. So,
You bring that up, right? Like, how much does it make a difference that you're going to be able to have another year with Coach Monachino, right? It's so often in college football in particular, there's turnover, right? With
yeah.
coordinators, given what you did, what Zahir did a year ago, now, how big do you think it is that if this is the foundation and now we get another year with Coach Monachino, I would imagine the thought is it can only be so much better from there.
Yeah, I think just like with anything else, the more you do it, the more you practice at it, the better you get. So I think, the more understanding and practice I had under this playbook and stuff, I think it just allows me to, maybe take some of my own thoughts into the play instead of just maybe being more robotic and stuff. I had just more understanding of what is ahead of me and what to expect from teams I'm playing against. So it's a lot easier to get settled in and start to just play how I want to play a lot sooner. So, and then obviously, I think I developed like physically too, like getting faster, stronger, and stuff.
Sure.
So, I just think with experience comes better play, and with time, you develop. So,
Tell me about Randy Starks coming into the equation because, bro, that guy is a friggin' legend, man. Like he is a rock star from when he was a player. I don't know how much you're at an age that, I guess you never saw him
yeah.
play, but like, what do you know about him and what kind of addition has he been to the defensive staff?
So me personally, I don't really work much with him as an outside linebacker and stuff, but I
Sure.
think for the D line to have somebody that played and actually can understand the things they're doing in practice and how they feel as a player, I think something like that just only adds fuel to the fire and stuff. I think seeing Coach Stark's career and stuff, like you said, I was young, so I didn't maybe see it myself, but having somebody to look up to, like that's the type of legacy I want to leave at Maryland too. So
It's
I
cool.
just think it's inspiring and it's
That's
cool to
cool.
have him on the staff for sure.
All right, let's get to the important part, right, Sydney? Because we know what era of football we're in.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of dudes that had the freshman season that you had, who I have no doubt had offers from a lot of places to
yeah,
go somewhere else, would have said, "Hey, all right, man, I'm gonna take that big time money. I'm gonna get out of here, right? Like
yeah, yeah,
why was it different for you? And I'm sure that like it's a similar conversation that if I had with Zahir right now. Why did you guys say, despite the struggles, despite the way the season went after the first 4 games last year, why did you guys decide to stick around and say, I want to ride this thing out and
yeah.
see what I can't do?
So I think well, one, I'm from here, so I just got a little bit of different ties to here and stuff. So a lot of my friends, my family, people able to come to the game for me. So that's a big piece. And I think seeing what we had from the team and what we were able to retain and stuff, I think the talent question is, it really isn't a question. Like we have the talent capable of winning games and stuff. So to be able to play with those guys, obviously they're my friends, my brothers and stuff. So to have them on my team and to know that they'll make their own plays and send plays my way is just it definitely had a big piece in me wanting to stay. And I think probably the last piece that ties it all together is my coaches. I think um, a lot of people, you know, they forget the ultimate goal. At least for somebody like myself, like I want to play in the NFL.
Yep.
So I mean, and I'm a competitor. Obviously, I want to win games, and that's something I want to do for the program and for myself too. But I think with this type of staff and playing under Coach Monachino, I think I'm going to be all the more ready to play in the NFL. So all those things probably is what I would say led me to say.
It's cool, man. What about no? Last time I talked to Zion, he told me that like you guys are basically neighbors, right? Like,
Yeah,
can you tell me about that relationship and like what it now means that you guys gonna be lining up together? And I remember you and I talked about it in the fall. Like, my
yeah,
God, this thought of the three of you all out on the field together,
yeah,
it sounds like it's gonna be a nightmare for
yeah.
opposing
I
offenses.
think well, yeah, we actually are pretty much neighbors. He lives right down the block from me. So we both live in Joppa. Shout out mom, shout out his mom. But I think, just our outside linebacker room is probably one of the youngest, and then not just that, but one of the most talented in the nation. You know what I'm saying? So I think adding him and we got Didi, we got WAP, and I think Mees are here, Zion. I think just having a rotation of guys that when we're not tired, I just think that it's going to be a lot to deal with for offenses. So I just think adding him, obviously he's a very talented player, one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country coming in. So yeah, I think it should be a scary sight for sure.
Man, you bring up Joppa, right? Like it just sort of like it's crazy to me. I know obviously Deontay was Edgewood, right? Like right there.
Yeah,
But this opportunity that you guys have to do this together, and again, both of you guys being guys that are very much in line to end up in the NFL at some point. Like, what does that mean to you that you get to represent that community together, do it this way? Like, that's got to be something pretty powerful to you.
yeah. I think being from Joppa, that sometimes it doesn't seem like there's a lot of stuff going on there, and so the people from there, when they get something to
I mean, I
champion
love the
and
fried
root
chicken
for.
at Redner's for what it's worth.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but so yeah, I think when they get something to champion and something to root for, I think it's just it's like a strong, it's just like a strong bond. So being the person that maybe people can look to or just cheer on, I think it's just a great feeling.
I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's a really cool story and can't wait to see it unfold for you guys this year. Um, we mentioned the disappointment of last year, right?
Mhm.
Like, as we're chatting with Sidney Stewart, the Maryland football spring showcase coming up tomorrow. It wasn't like you guys were getting blown out.
Yeah.
It was heartbreak. How have you used that? Like, do you come away from that feeling like I know we're close? It's not as bad as maybe some people think it was from the outside if
Mhm.
they just looked at the record or the streak, whatever you want to say. And what is the difference between being a team that's right there in Big Ten games against good teams and being a team that's ready to go win those games this season and compete in the Big Ten?
Right. I would say, I would say, you are who your record says, regardless of how much you try to fight it. We were a losing team last year, and we had plenty of opportunities to win games, not just in the fourth quarter, but throughout the entire game. There was a lot of misplays, offensively and defensively, even on special teams and stuff. So, I think, it's bittersweet because, like you said, we weren't getting blown out, but a loss is a loss. And at the end of the day, whether it be by 3 or by 30, we lost, and it goes on the wrong side of our scoreboard. So I just think for us though, the silver lining is that we were one step away or maybe one play away, and so talent. But it shows that talent isn't enough, and that I think once us as a young team, we take the experience of last year and just add it on to our talent. I think a great season is ahead.
I think it's been really cool to see you guys out supporting some of the other spring sport teams this year, right? Like, was this like a formal thing that you guys got together, said, let's go to some lacrosse games, let's go to baseball games? Was it just, hey, some of these guys want to do it anyway? Like, what has this been like, and how much have you felt like there's been, a vibe and appreciation from you guys showing up to support those guys, and I'm sure there's a feeling that's reciprocal.
Yeah, I mean, being as we're one of if not the top NIL sport, and we don't really share a facility with really any other sport. I think sometimes there's a disconnect there, and they maybe don't understand that we appreciate what they do and we think what they do is really cool and we respect their sport and stuff. So I think we just as a team banded together and said that we got a cool opportunity to go support. And I mean, you know, more than just that, I mean, so it was just fun watching some of the teams play and stuff. You get to be a little rowdy, see what it's like to be a fan and stuff. So yeah, I just think it was, really cool that we was able to do that. And I'm glad
I've
that,
noticed the rowdiness, right? Like
yeah,
I've noticed a good bit of that, particularly at lacrosse a couple games ago, right? Like, is
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
like is this like a good way for you to let some of that out? Like normally, you got to be buttoned up a little bit. Like
yeah.
this is an opportunity for you to do that a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's just cool that we kind of got to get a little chirpy. Sometimes a lot of it feels like you can almost do nothing, because it's a lot of eyes on you and stuff. But it was a cool opportunity to talk a little trash and stuff.
I love that, man. I love that. I don't know if we talked about this the last time. Are you a trash talker on the field?
I'm like I wouldn't say I'm a trash talker. I'm more like like I joke and I laugh and stuff. But I think because like it may come off that way to certain people, which I don't think necessarily is like by accident. But sometimes I'd be too tired to talk though. So it
It's
just
a
depends.
it's a grueling game. I can
Yeah.
understand that. When you played basketball, right? Like, of course, everybody knows your family's history with basketball. When you played
Right.
basketball, were you a trash talker? I feel like basketball is normally more of the trash talking sport than football is. Am I wrong about that?
No, I think it may seem that way because there's 11 people on the field and you can't really hear what's going on the football field and stuff. But I think they're probably about the same. Basketball is
Okay.
just a little bit worse because you're 1-on-1, and if you beat the dude 1-on-1, then everybody kind of sees it. So, but yeah, I definitely do talk trash. I think I got that from my dad and my brother and stuff, and that's just kind of you know brings out the competitor in you. I think it's more fun that way.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree at all. In fact, I kind of love. Do you are you a prepared trash talker? Like, when do you like know something about that guy, or is it just maybe like if they say something, maybe you'll say something back type of situation?
Yeah, no, I'm not really prepared. I think once my play starts getting to go, then I think I just start talking a little bit.
All right, I can appreciate that. I dig that a whole lot. Spring showcase tomorrow, right? Like, it's not what the old spring game was, but it's still an opportunity to go out in front of a crowd. I know it's been a long few weeks, and this is
Mm.
always the toughest, right? Because you don't have a game to get ready for, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're just doing it to do it. But
right.
what does it mean to get that opportunity after you've been grinding to go out there tomorrow and to have fans show up and say hello?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times you're practicing, kind of feels like you're moving in secrecy. The coaches are trying to figure out the new puzzle pieces and stuff. So we're not trying to leave it up for interpretation for other people and stuff. So they don't get an opportunity to see what's going on. But I know people are on the edge of the seat, ready for football to start back up. It's America's sport and stuff. So they get an opportunity to see what their hometown team or their college's team kind of has to bring for the next season. And at this point, college football is taking a turn. We as players are kind of more in the NFL trajectory. Like, we're valuable, and you can't really lose one of your more valuable players or any of them for that fact. But it's still an opportunity for people to see what we got to offer. So I
How
think
tough is
it's
how
pretty
tough
cool.
is what you just brought up, right? Like, do you have to remind yourself, like, bro, because all you do is bring quarterbacks to the ground. Like, that's your life.
Yeah,
Do you have to
yeah.
remind yourself? I don't know if you go in ones at all, but like you have to say, like, bro, stay away from Malik. Like, stay
Oh
away.
yeah, yeah. No, no, they'll make sure you know. Like I'm sure
Okay.
every collegiate program around the nation, you're not gonna get within an inch of the quarterback before you
That's
have
the
to.
way. That's the way it's
Yeah,
got to be, man.
yeah,
That's the
hundred
way it's got
percent.
to be. This is obviously NFL Draft Week, Sid, right? Like, have you started to think about like what this is gonna be you in
Yeah.
whenever that time is, whenever you make that decision that it's time for you. Have you like started to have any of those feelings of like what it's gonna be like watching with your family and like does that I see a little bit of a smile on your face as I bring it up. Like,
Yeah.
do you think about that at all?
I mean, I think it's hard not to. Like I said, that's kind of my ultimate goal with this football stuff. And I think I got a great opportunity because of not just of what I've done, but because of the people who's helped me and stuff. So I think I'd be kind of wrong to not take advantage of the opportunity if it shows itself. And but to be honest, this stuff can go away in an instant. So I'm not trying to jump the gun. I'm not eligible, so I'm just trying to do better than what I did last year and then do that again one more time. So yeah, I definitely think there's a possibility for the NFL in my future.
I appreciate that focus, man. I appreciate it. Maryland football spring showcase again coming up tomorrow. Jones Hill House opens at 10 a.m. The practice itself is at 1 o'clock, and then Jones Hill House will be open again from 2:30 to 4. So an awesome day. Meet Sidney Stewart, meet Zahir, meet Zion Ely, meet Malik, the whole gang, and great interactive activities during the course of the event as well. It's going to be an awesome day. Sydney,
Yeah.
remind me where can Maryland fans be giving you a follow on social?
I kind of got a little nickname on Instagram. You can follow me at Young Bull Sid. It's
That's
spelled a
right.
little funky, Yung. But yeah, I go by Young Bull, so you probably can find me on other stuff with pretty much the same name.
Very good, man. Sid, you're our guy. We are always rooting for you, and it's awesome to see the success you found. We can't wait to see what's next for you this season. Appreciate you taking the time for us as always, man.
For sure, for sure. I appreciate you.